this is Dan from Paracord. Today I'm going to make a two-toned watch band. I call it a watch band just because I use this particular weave as a watch band. I know there's probably a technical name for it, but I don't know that name, so I'm just going to make it and see if you guys like it. Okay, so you start out, I have a 5/8 inch side release buckle. I have about 10 feet of purple paracord and this neon green paracord, 10 feet each. I use these two colors. They're not the best in the world, but hopefully you can see the contrast between the two. So how we start is I usually take the female end of the buckle and you're going to bend it over, fold it over maybe about 10 inches, 12 inches, and then we're going to tuck it in here. And you're going to want to have the short end on the inside, so the two middle pieces will be shorter. If I can get it tucked in here. Okay, now before I loop it over, I go ahead and get the other piece, and again I'm going to fold it over about 10 inches and then make sure, figure out which one's in the middle, and again short end to the middle. Okay, and you're going to tuck this through. Now this one's going to be a little bit harder to tuck through, obviously, because you got that other cord going through there. So I usually get something to help me push it through. Okay. Now as you can see, the two short ends are in the middle and they're approximately the same length. Okay, then I just loop these over and through the hole. Okay, pull them tight. Alright, so that's how you start out on the first side. Alright, the next side, okay, you're going to take the two short pieces that are in the middle and you're going to run it through the male end, and it may be helpful to melt off these ends. Okay, and you're just going to pull these two pieces through and make sure you have your buckle set up correctly so that it will go in right. Alright, and then this is where you kind of set what length you want. Over here to the right on my whiteboard I have my measurements. Okay, then what I do is, just so I don't have this space in here, I wrap it around one more time and just loop it around on itself. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to try and squeeze this one in. I'm actually going to cut this frayed end off. Maybe even melt it a little bit to make it a little bit easier. Okay. Now you can make your length here a little bit better so you won't have as much excess, but you always want to have a little bit. It's better to be longer than shorter. Okay, so that's how you're going to have that end, and this end is going to look like that. Okay, now I'm going to move the camera so that I can hook it up to keep it stretched out. Okay, I'm going to try a different angle here. So I have it attached to my trusty hook here, and these two ends here are going to be free, and you have these two ends just hanging loose. And so how you're going to start is you're going to take whichever color you choose. You're just going to loop it over, or just put it on top. At the very end, you're going to take this one and you're going to loop it around and behind and then over the other color, and then you're going to pull those fairly tight to where you have 4 strands running the length of the band. Okay. Alright, so then you're going to take this end and just loop it around that cord. Let me untangle this one. Okay, just loop it around, and then this side you're going to loop around as well. Alright, now if you notice, the green piece will be able to go over and the purple will go under. So then this will go over and you'll tuck it through, and then this one will come under and then over the outside. And then you'll pull them down tight, make sure everything's nice and tight. Alright, then again you're going to loop this around. I'm going to loop this around. Trying not to put knots in your paracord. There we go. Alright, so now this one's going to go under and over the outside, and this one's going to go over and under the outside. Okay, and then pull it tight and pull it down, and then you can kind of start to see the weave happening there. Okay, so loop around, take this one, loop it around, and then the right side here goes over and under, and then this goes the left side under and over. Okay, pull it tight. One more time, loop it around, pull it through, loop it around, pull it through. The right side goes over and under. The left side goes under and over. Okay, and then push it down nice and tight. Alright, so you can start to see it coming together. You don't need to watch me go all the way up here, but you'll do the same thing over and over and over again, and then once I get close to the top, I'll start the video again. Okay, so I'm close to the end here, just have a few loops left. I've gone all the way up, doing the same thing over and over, and now once I get here to the end, I like to use my forceps. It makes it a little bit easier. If I had two of those little threading needles, I may actually do that. And again, you're just doing the same thing. Over on one side, under on the other. Alright, and then looping it around. Okay, and again, once you make the little loops, you'll easily see that, okay, this one's got to go over the top and this one's got to go behind, just how the loops turn out. And remember, the whole time you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're pushing all the previous loops down tight, unless you want your bracelet or watch band to be a little more loose. Alright, so again, this is where I'm tightening everything up and then pushing it down, trying to fit as many in there as I can. I like to keep it pretty tight, because over time it will definitely loosen up. And then one thing I even do when I'm done with this is I'll wet it, and that'll tighten it up even more. Alright, so we're getting there. Alright, I'll probably fit one more. Alright, and now when you finish up, you want to make sure both of the strands are pointing out the back. So as you can see, both of these are poking out right here on the back side. Alright, the front looks good. Now, one thing you'll see here is this is kind of flipped upwards. I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. But now you can take these two strands. I probably have about 1.5 feet to 2 feet left, so depending on the length that you're making it, you might be able to go with 8 feet or so. Alright, and since I'm going to be tucking this in, I'm going to gut the ends here. It'll be a little bit easier to tuck in. Alright, and then I'll come over here, go about 3 loops down. Alright, pull that through, pull it nice and tight, clip it off. Get the trusty transformer slider. Melt it and push it down. Alright, now we're going to go to this end. Okay, where we got the funny male end here. And what you can do now is you can just loosen these two things up a little bit. Just a tad bit, and then pull it out, and that'll make it go straight again. And then we're going to take this end, go ahead and cut that off, and we're going to tuck it in the other side. Again, I'm going to go about 3 loops here. And pull it tight. Clean this up a little bit. Same thing over here. Cut it off and melt it. Alright. It's done. Hopefully you got a good idea on how to make it. If you have any questions, let me know.